it's Midnight Raven once again, sitting on my living room floor because why not? Been one of those weeks. I just thought I'd do a little catch up. These little video diaries keep me kind of grounded, I guess, and connected to you, of course. So I have spent today going to the doctors. I went to the doctors earlier to request my doctor's notes that I need to give for my PIP application. I also picked up a sick note for the next month, and I have to actually email the doctors to get my doctor's records. I actually have to email them. They said you have to do it written, so I have to email them to request my doctor's note, even though I went in there in person like this, me, and said I need to have my doctor's note that date back to when I had my x-rays and all that. And they said that I have to email the surgery to request them. And I'm like, but I'm standing right here. Anyone could email the surgery and just want my doctor's notes, but I'm actually standing here asking for them. Like, me, you could ask me whatever you needed, but I've got to email them. It seems a bit long-winded. So I have emailed them. Then I have to fill in a form to get my hospital notes. Here it gets even better. The hospital one has to be a form that's filled in and signed by me and sent. Still, they don't know it's me doing it. I don't understand this whole paper trail where you could literally just go there and say, this is me. Can you print them off? Here's my ID, and do it like that. No, instead I've got to email the doctors, and then the hospital ones I have to fill in a form and send. And once that's all done, which will probably take weeks, knowing my luck, I have to fill in another form. It gets better. Yeah. Form after form. I have to fill in another form which goes in this envelope, which is the PIP form, which I need both my hospital and doctor's records to fill in. And I only have until the 9th of January to get all of that from the doctors, sequestered, sent to me, filled in, and resend the form back to PIP. In the time it's took me to not email the hospital and write to the doctors on a piece of paper to send it to them to get my forms, I've lost a week and a half because of how long it's going to take through the post to send it, to get to the doctors, for them to print it off, to then tell me to come pick them up because they're only in town. Hospital, on the other hand, is in King's Lynn. So they are going to post my notes, or I have to collect them. So that means either a trip to the hospital or they'll post them. And I've requested them from the date of when I hurt my back in 2016. And I need my x-rays, I need my MRIs, I need everything I had done at outpatients when I had my injections in my spine. I need the works, basically. Then I need to take copies of that and send it to PIP, which Citizens Advice are going to help me, but I need lots of paperwork to be able to fill it in because it's got dates, my consultants, and blah, blah, blah. And my care plan and everything that I need for that. And then I've got to try and claim PIP, which, if you didn't know, in the UK is Personal Independence Payment, which is a payment that helps people who are on either find it hard to move, walk, clean themselves, eat, communicate, socialize, that kind of thing. Mine, I want to get it for movement. Mine is for capabilities on walking and working, where my back is deteriorating and I am becoming in more pain, whether that's due to the excessive amount of work I did over the last 6 months, I don't know, but my back has started to deteriorate. I've become in more pain. Plus, with my mental health, it is making working a lot more difficult with the pain and the mental health and everything else. I was told to claim PIP by the Norfolk County Assistance Scheme that suggested it might help me even if I apply for it. And then we'll look at other ways of supporting myself if I do not still feel that I am physically or mentally able to go back to work anytime soon. I am off for the month, and the month has given me a time to have my counselling, my blood tests, which, as you are watching this, are tomorrow. Fingers crossed they can find a vein this time. Then I'll get my blood tests back. I have my counselling next Monday, and then hopefully all these forms will have been sent back to me with my records. Then I can plan next week to hopefully go to Citizens Advice, have that done. My blood tests will be done. And then I can go for my nan's funeral, which is the 5th of February, have that, and then I'm due back to work hopefully from the 16th. So I'll have a week after my nan's funeral to get myself together and to get myself ready. As long as my counsellor and my doctor and everything else is okay, like my blood tests, I should be able to go back. If for any reason I don't go back and I feel like I'm still struggling, my counsellor or my doctor will extend my sick note and we will go from there. So it's been a busy day of paperwork. Now, I am no fan of paperwork on a normal day, but when you're very distracted by other things like the planning of my nan's funeral, trying to get my hospital notes, trying to get my doctor's notes, my counselling, trying to get blood tests, it's mind-boggling how under pressure I feel now to get paperwork done on time, to get this done on time. The pressure tomorrow to just have a vein pop up in my arm so they can get my blood, because I have a tendency to have what we call not coming to the surface veins. They don't want to. Like I said, I told you about a nurse before who tried to get my blood out of me 5 times, gave up, and basically didn't want me as a patient anymore because I was that difficult to get my veins up. I don't know why. I have been suggested to drink plenty before I go tomorrow morning. My appointment's like 20 past 10, I think, or quarter past 10. I've been told to drink a lot. That does help the veins come to the surface to make sure you're not dehydrated. It makes it easier. Also to eat something. I'm not really a breakfast person, but I might have to have like a piece of toast or something. I'm not really into eating, but you have to eat really to have your bloods taken. They do suggest it to lessen the chance of passing out, which I do have a tendency to do with my needle phobia. So a lot going on tomorrow morning. And then I'll get all the paperwork sorted. The thing is, once I get the hospital notes, I get the PIP form filled in, and that is sent off. That is a pressure off me. Once it's filled in, it's fine. It's waiting for the forms from elsewhere. I have to request to have my notes. I get that. But I had to go and get a form to send to the hospital, fill it all in, and then send it, and then wait for a reply. And then I went to the doctors thinking I could just request my notes and they could just print them off and I'd come back in a couple of days. No, I've actually got to email them. I mean, like, lots of red tape just to get my own medical records. Would you believe that? And then once I've done that and I've sent it to PIP, if I qualified for PIP, it is backdated to when I first applied, the date that I then first applied. So it would be backdated on however long it takes, which can take up to 2 months to receive something. But as the rate my back is making it more painful to work, I have to do something. If you didn't know, I hurt my back many, many years ago at work when we were rolling a patient. I already had a genetic spine disorder, which didn't really affect me, but when I hurt my back that day, it increased the pain a millionfold. And ever since then, the muscles around that area have never really healed. The pain has never subsided back to how it was, where it was manageable. And I think the toll of working the last 5 or 6 years has really hurt my back. I think the amount I want to work and the amount I can work are two different things. I love working. I love being active. I love being involved. And I think maybe, just maybe, the last year I've kind of overdone the work. But then it's a toss up between working and needing money and not working and struggling. And you go between the two. And I went with the working. And I think I may have done not irreparable damage, but I think I have pushed my back too far. With the car accident in December as well, and going back to work within 3 or 4 days probably was a bit much. I probably should have stayed off, but work was short staffed. They needed me, and I pushed through and worked. Probably shouldn't have. I probably should have took 2 weeks off to fix my back. I'm off now, so I will have had 7 weeks to heal my back before I go back fully this time, including my mental health. And the bereavement issues that I have that cannot be dealt with for 2 months, because I cannot have bereavement counselling until my nan has passed for 2 months. On top of that, I have looked at the antidepressants information that I was given by my counsellor and have decided that I don't like them. I don't like the thought of being sick and tired and all of that crap when most of the time I'm alone. When I'm at home, it says that the drugs can make you sick, make you tired, make you put on weight, give you mood swings, and all this other shit. And honestly, if that's going to give me all that shit, I don't want it. I would rather struggle on and do other things. Go for a walk, go to the gym, socialize, watch a TV program, anything but drug myself up. I do not think the 3 drugs that they have given me gave me any sense of hope reading them. The side effects outweigh more than what they would possibly give me, and that's if they help you at all. Antidepressants are not like a paracetamol. They don't help everybody. I've heard people being on antidepressants before who have gone way the other direction, and there are people on antidepressants that take them and have taken them for years and swear by them. Me personally, I've never liked the idea of filling my body up with drugs of any kind just to get that little serotonin high to feel normal, if they want to call it normal. I don't class myself as crazy or insane or weird or strange or any of the above. No matter what anybody else says, I do have my quirky ways. I am a little bit strange, but that is me. The bereavement issues and the other issues I have can be dealt with through other counselling, through a different service using the Sue Ryder service, or there is another one which I cannot remember the name of. I will put them in the description. If you want to know the 3 drugs they would love me to take, I will put them in the description as well if you want to know information. Like I said, if anyone wants to know behind the scenes any of the drugs or antidepressants they are suggesting or any of the counselling, and you have done this before, or you actually do take any of these antidepressants, I would love to hear more from an actual genuine person who has took them. We're not on things, we're not going like crazy on the old Xanax, and I'm not completely off my rocker. We're not that far gone. But this is a little something apparently to take the edge off the stress, the worry, and just to give me a bit of peace and a bit of calm. But what would do that is a bit of an easier life, not stressing about bills, not stressing about work, not stressing about life. And I love we would all love to have that kind of life. But at the minute in the UK, with my back, with cutting my work hours, the problems I have, it's just a bit harder for me. And I know people are going to say, well, everyone's got it hard. And I understand that. Personally, I feel right now that things aren't great, but the things I'm doing are helping. The paperwork, getting that sorted, tick, tick, tick. If I can tick something off each day, then it helps. I've been to the doctors today. I got my sick note, tick. I went to the library. I sent an email, tick. I've got the form to fill in for the doctors to get my notes from the hospital. I filled it in, just got to post it tomorrow, tick. They're all ticks, which is a good sign. Tomorrow I'm going to have my bloods taken, and then we will just wait for the results. Tick. I'm going to post the envelope tomorrow so that the hospital can give me my notes, and then I will just have to wait for my doctor's ones. Tick. More ticks. The more ticks than crosses at the minute, the better. So, things aren't too bad. They're not great. Let's not jump to any conclusions and go one step ahead. Things aren't great. I don't feel well in my own self. I don't really want to live stream. I can't think of anything worse now than talking for 3 hours. I just feel low. I feel depressed. I feel alone. There's help out there and I'm taking the help, but I still feel alone, which is sad. If you don't know, I also look pale. Look at this. Like a fucking ghost. I'm slightly dehydrated as well. I've got a drink for my thing tomorrow, so I am drinking to get my veins to really show this time so that they don't have to stab me 5 times. Yeah, if there's anything you want to know, comment in the description if you want to know the antidepressants, if you want to know about the bereavement, the counselling, claiming PIP. I would love any information on anybody in the UK that claims PIP already. I have applied for it once many, many years ago and was turned down because I had a partner living with me. Now that I live on my own and things are more of a struggle, it's more likely that I will qualify. It's not an absolute, but it's more likely. And with the fact that it's a genetic spine disorder that is neither curable or operable, I cannot be operated on for fear of paralyzing me. I've already had the best surgeon in the country refuse to do it. That tells you how bad my back is when a surgeon won't touch it. It would make him look really good if he could perform it and be like, voila, she's cured. But he can't because of where the bones are, and it's just too complicated surgery. And most surgeons don't want a blacklist, don't want a black mark on their list. So he was one of the surgeons that came up from London to the Norfolk and Norwich Hospital, and he still said no. What do you do? But if you want to know anything else about my mental health, my journey, how I'm struggling, please do comment in the chat, in the description, because I'm not planning to go live anytime soon. I just don't have it in me. But you can still help me in various ways. You can thumbs it up, you can subscribe, you can share it out so other people can see just how debilitating depression and mental health is. You can support the channel by a PayPal, Super Chat, or Super Thanks. PayPal is preferred at the minute. That way I get the money instantly. Although if you pay through YouTube, they do take 30%, which is a big cut. Any general donations at the minute are going to my nan's reef. She's being buried on the 5th of February. So any money that is donated now is going to help buy her reef. And then the money there on from the 5th will go to myself to help pay my bills, my food bills, and probably in my case, the amount of traveling I'm going to have to do to the hospitals, to pick up my notes, to citizens' advice. I have got to do a bit of traveling to get all of this done. And at the minute, I don't really feel like leaving my house, let alone traveling on a bus. So we shall see how that goes. I did take a walk into town this morning. Obviously, I went to the doctor. Obviously, I went to the library to pick stuff up. But apart from that, I really just don't feel like leaving the house. And that's probably bad. But that is for my counsellor on the 29th to decide. And we will go through some more techniques, some more talking, and we will go from there. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about me, please put them in the chat. No question is too personal. Like I said, if you want to ask anything, don't be afraid to ask. The worst case scenario is I'll tell you it's a private issue and you won't get a reply or a response. But like I said, if you want to help the channel out, PayPal is the way to go. All donations go to my nan currently for her reef. If you want to see me again, I don't know when that will be. Sometime in the future, maybe when I'm back to full health and back to work. I do hope to go back to work in February when my sick note runs out, but Rome wasn't built in a day, I was told, and that baby steps are the steps to go currently. And I will see you very soon. I love you all. Hopefully you miss the Raven too. Bye, guys.